Oh hey, didn't see you there. Spider-Man 4, Tobey Maguire, Sam Raimi. It's a headline that will completely blow your mind if you're a fan of the webhead. Now, a new report from comicbookmovie.com has just dropped stating that this film could be in the works, and throughout this video we're going to be breaking down the news story, whether we think it's true or not, and what I've heard behind the scenes to discuss if this has any viability or not. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Heavy Spoilers Show. I'm your host Paul, aka your friendly neighbourhood spoiler man. I do videos that are a lot better than this normally, much better produced, but with this just being a news report, I thought I'd just go through it and read it out, because let's face it, it's the Easter holidays and who else can be bothered with that? I know you can't, and that's why you're here. Now, the article starts off with, Sony reportedly wants Sam Raimi and Tobey Maguire to reunite for Spider-Man 4. Wow, what a headline. However, the next paragraph down kind of gives you an inkling of exactly what's going on. It says, we're approaching hard to believe territory with this one, but a new report is seemingly suggesting that Sony Pictures is keen to reunite director Sam Raimi with Tobey Maguire for a Spider-Man 4? Question mark? Never put question marks in statements. Now, this is something that I've actually heard going on behind the scenes, and apparently from my source, dude bro, trust me, when Marvel Studios were renegotiating Tom Holland's contract with Sony not only said they wanted their universe to basically collide with the MCU, but they also stated that they want to be able to go off and make their own Spider-Man projects featuring characters like, well, not characters, but actors like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield. Now, their introduction is apparently in Spider-Man No Way Home. That's kind of going back and forth with there being a lot of studio denial at the moment, but I personally believe that it's happening. And this will sort of open the door to the multiverse and allow these actors to come back and finish on these projects. Now, Sam Raimi was a big get for in the Multiverse of Madness, and apparently Kevin Feige wanted to get him because he'd help getting Tobey Maguire, which would then create this whole multiverse thing that they could just make billions and billions of dollars from. Now, the report goes on to say, in Rumour Mill, we share the hard-to-buy rumours. So, yeah, sounds like they're really confident, that don't come from reliable sources like the trades, but are still more believable just than what you might find on Reddit. So, yeah, kind of seems like they're sort of playing the hand a bit. Now, as the wait for Spider-Man No Way Home, which has been rumoured to feature an appearance by Tobey Maguire and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, which Sam Raimi is in the director's chair, intensifies, the rumour mill has never been hotter. It has been hotter because once my mate Sharon said that Billy Jenkins fingered her behind the bike shed at school, and that was a pretty hot rumour at the time, I remember that. Now, the latest report is a potential bombshell that could reshape the entire future of this Spider-Verse. Now, Sony are very keen to move forward with this Spider-Verse, and though Tom Holland sort of falls under the MCU umbrella, they clearly have a lot of plans for things if they're greenlighting a Madame Web movie, which, yeah, if they're greenlighting that, then they'll probably greenlight Spider-Man 4. Now, Spider-Man 4 was a film that sort of went through production hell. It was originally meant to be made. I think it was featuring the Lizard, but I haven't looked up it for quite a while, and I can imagine that if they do go forward with the Lizard featuring an Amazing Spider-Man 1, that they would completely scrap that and start afresh. Obviously, Tobey Maguire's a lot older now as well, so I could kind of see them potentially tying in with No Way Home and then going off and doing their own thing. Now, as I've said, I have heard this rumour has a lot of weight to it, which is why I'm reporting on it. And it just makes a lot of sense business-wise. You don't bring Tobey Maguire back just for a cameo and set him up as Spider-Man to then mothball it and say, well, we're turning down all this free cash that we'd make from Spider-Man 4. Sam Raimi is obviously very, very keen to get back into doing superhero movies. Otherwise, he wouldn't have returned for Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. So, whether this is true or not, I can see why this rumour is starting to pick up steam, as there are a lot of things that make a lot of sense. And yeah, it just all lines up. Now, like always, take this with a huge grain of salt, which is one of my catchphrases, so thanks for putting that in the article. Maybe even a whole box of it. Oh, no, what? But Giant Freaking Robot, who have had a few scoops out in the past, is reporting that Sony Pictures, they've had a few scoops, some poop, some scoops. Anyway, they've expressed interest in bringing back both Raimi and Maguire for a potential fourth entry in the Spider-Man series. I'm actually going to go to Giant Freaking Robot and see exactly what they're saying, as this is quite a big rumor, and you need to have your sources lined up here. Okay, so we're at the source part of the article now. according to one of our trusted and proven inside sources called Dude Bro Trust Me Bro, Sony wants Tobey Maguire and Sam Raimi to reunite for another Spider-Man movie. So the source that they've listed, can I trust them? No. Says it's proven. I don't know that. Could be anyone. So again, take it with a pinch of salt, a grain of salt, as it says. Now the article goes on to say how the presence of an adult Spider-Man would affect the future of both Marvel Studios and Sony's plans is also unclear, but it could open the door for one Spider-Man in the MCU and one in the SUMC, potentially setting the stage for showdowns with Venom, Morbius, and others. Now this kind of calls back to Morbius, and you might remember in the trailer for that there was a Spider-Man poster which had the word murderer written across it. Now a lot of people were confused as it was the Sam Raimi suit from the PS4 Spider-Man game, and we were just like, maybe they don't have the rights to Tom Holland and maybe this is just a cool little Easter egg. Now the reason that I actually heard they did that is because the Morbius film is going to sort of be in the Tobey Maguire universe where the snap hasn't happened and so on. And that is exactly why they use that artwork. Now, whether that's the truth or not, we don't know. But bear in mind, Michael Keaton was in that trailer, and he, of course, played the Vulture. So I kind of feel like they're leaving the door open to explore possible other avenues, but they haven't nailed down things 100%. Bear in mind, Tobey Maguire hasn't even been confirmed at the moment as appearing in No Way Home. So whether we know this to be true or not, I don't know. Personally, from what I've heard, I think he is going to be in that film, and then I think he will pop up in Doctor Strange 2, and that'll kind of open the doors. But for the moment, I'd imagine that the studio are very much keeping their cards close to their chest. They're spying on the web and seeing what rumours swing through the mill to see what the audience reaction is to these crap puns. Now, personally, I think that this entire thing will have been discussed by Sony, at least at some point. You'd have to be a moron to think that this hasn't even crossed the minds of people in the studio, especially when they're focused on making money, and they've clearly got huge plans for Spider-Man going forward because at the moment he's Sony's biggest property. I think Far From Home was their first ever movie to cross the 1 billion mark, so for them to be greenlighting things like, you know, Madame Web, as I've said, it just seems like this would be such a no-brainer, and I can see them moving forward with it. Now, this report, still a bit skeptical on it. I would wait until we find out about Tobey Maguire being in the film before we put too much faith into this, but I just thought I'd report on it as it is quite a big story. Now, if I had to give it a score out of 100, with 100 being, this is definitely happening, and 0 being, no way, mate, no way, then I would probably score it at a 65. I think it will have been discussed at some point, but I doubt very much that Tobey would have signed on to do multiple films. I think what's been happening behind the scenes is that they're kind of working out the contract for this initial movie and perhaps Doctor Strange 2, and then from there they're going to look at whether they can bring him back in a successful way, whether the fans want it, and exactly how easy this is going to be to make, because this could be a massive film for Sony, and the best thing about it for them is that they wouldn't have to share revenue with Marvel Studios, unless of course they worked out clauses in their contract to say, well, we'll set up this universe and you give us like 10% back of the money. Because, you know, these businessmen and these lawyers, they need Matt Murdock involved for that, hey, who is in Spider-Man No Way Home, and you can bank on that. Anyway, obviously I'd love to hear your thoughts below. Sorry, this is just kind of a very basic video. I'm working on Invincible at the moment for Friday, and I'm also getting things prepared for Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So just kind of rushing through this, but I hope you enjoy this more personal talk towards the camera. Subscribe button's there, like button's there, dislike button's there too, but don't press that. And yeah, I'll see you next time. If you want something else to watch, we've got loads of breakdowns on at the moment, including one on who the Power Broker might be, King Kong Easter eggs, and a lot more. So yeah, definitely check them out after this. I've been Paul. Take care.